Hey, what's up guys? This is Trigger. It's been a while and I'm bringing you another Helo pilot gameplay here. This one is 23-0. This is more of a Loki gameplay. Well, actually it's a Helo pilot, but it's also it's got Loki in there too. And I played very sneaky here. I definitely was sneaking around quite a bit and taking some cheap shots, just to get some kills like that. And yes, I was a snake in the grass. I did definitely do that. I've played this game a lot where, a lot of people pretty much do the same stuff to you and then, just say play better or something like that. But, it really comes down to trying to understand enemy movement, mostly. It's really trying to understand, like, where people are going to spawn, kind of like what some of the typical things that people will do, where they're probably going to go, what they want to defend, what they want to hold down, where they don't want to be, stuff like that. So I try to play like that. I can't say I always have this kind of luck. I think some other people that play this game a lot, I mean a lot, like every day, daily, 4 to 5 hours a day, they could probably have some, I guess they might have some better advice in some senses where, they know, how to spawn. Typically, from what I've seen as far as spawn points go, it's basically kind of moving with your team, and especially if you're playing hardcore, it can be a little tough to see what's going on if you don't have radar. But here's the thing, when you're playing this and you're kind of moving around, I think one of the key objectives to know, and most of the time what they usually do, what we call Call of Duty games usually do, is they spawn in front of you and to the left. So typically going counterclockwise around the map is one of the safest ways to go. And sometimes they change the spawn points where they'll just spawn behind you, because there's, I believe Drifter also mentioned it before, where, if you're facing the enemy, they won't spawn it directly in front of you. And now that's actually changed a few times. There's been a few times where that hasn't even been the case. There's been times where I spawned right in front of the enemy and then the enemy spawned right there too, facing me at the same time. So it depends on like what kind of patch they want to bring out, how they want to change it. So things change over time, and it really depends on how often you check the patches, to see what they've patched. And at that point, then you kind of go on to some of these videos, some of the popular ones, to try to figure out, oh, where are they going to spawn? What's going on? How is this going to work? But even then, at the end of the day, it really comes down to like how you effectively use your team. And it's not like you're using your team like you're manipulating your team, but you're using your team in a strategy sense where, okay, I got these two teammates going left and right, I should probably cover middle. It's sort of like that. I mean, you could go, but it doesn't really work too well in hardcore if you go, you follow a teammate behind him, because if there's an enemy in front, he could shoot through both of you, and you can't shoot through your teammate, and hopefully he sees him. But that's kind of my point. You're playing this team-based game, and you have to try to work with your teammates. Like here, I don't really even know where my team is exactly. I don't see anybody spawning near me, so that must mean the enemy is still somewhat close. So I don't want to run around and do too much stuff. I think they're probably spawning at this flag down here on my right. So I'm just going to like sneak around and see what I can see. I think I did see somebody, but they might pop up here and there. But that's kind of the basic strategy, that I play. And you watch my videos and you probably go, well, how do you know? How do you know? Well, I mean, if you see a lot of what I'm doing, it's a lot of going, counterclockwise around the map, and kind of getting the job done. But then there are certain parts where, like, I don't want to go out too far. I don't want to press that that area, because there's some areas it's sort of like D-Day. There's death areas. There's death traps. You don't want to go into certain areas because there's too many angles for you to look at, too many things for you to watch. I mean, you can get adventurous, but if you're on a high streak, you don't want to really die necessarily, so you don't want to make any risks. At the beginning of the battle, you might. But when you get a little bit further on, you really don't want to. So pretty much when I got the Helo here, I come back here, and at this point I was calling for my teammates to come back in at B flag and to cover my ass so that, I wouldn't get shot, while I'm down with the helipod, because I got the Loki on too. So I thought, well, if I just get a couple more with this, boom, I got the Loki too. And then, one of my teammates gets the, gets the chem strike here. So, he pulls that in, and so I'm like, well, this is good and bad because now I'm a little more exposed, when I'm on the Helo. But then again, almost the entire map is like opened up now, so it's kind of good for me. But it's kind of good and bad. But I pull in the Helo, I do the work with it, and luckily I actually had someone that stayed there and watched me. That doesn't typically happen all the time. You don't typically get clanmates that are going to be good to you like that and just kind of watch you and cover your back while you're flying around in the air. But in this scenario, it actually worked out pretty well. I think Colin stayed in and just watched me and made sure I didn't die, which is pretty nice. So it's good to have some clanmates, especially when you're playing this game, that actually will, protect you. If you're in a situation like that, let's say you're in a Loki or in a Helo pilot, someone actually sits back and sort of guards you, so you don't get killed off. It's not super necessary, but I mean, especially since I'm going for Loki, I might as well have someone protect me, because if I get killed off when I'm just on the Helo pilot and it's rotating back to the square one again, it doesn't really matter much, because then it's going to be like a whole nother thing to get all the way back to it again. But I needed those extra kills just to get the Loki, and I was actually kind of hoping for a Loki patch, and I still never got that yet. Whenever I play with my teammates and I get the Loki, someone else always gets the final kill. It's always usually I'm the Zodiac. He's always the one that steals that final kill. So I never really got that patch yet. But yeah, and I think the Loki could have been a little bit buffed in a way, because this rod coming from the sky going, I don't know, 700 miles an hour or something like that can pretty much just level a city. So, just like not even killing a guy when it's 5 feet away seems a little bit ridiculous. I think they should definitely buff that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This has been Trigger, and I will talk to you later.